What's up, y'all? It's your girl Amanda, and we're back with another episode of Mandis Quick Reviews. This episode, we are covering Oscar de la Hoya, the Golden Boy documentary. So this release date of this documentary was July 24th, 2023, and it can be found on HBO Max, or you can watch on HBO. Now, the plot of this documentary was the life and the career and the retirement of Oscar de la Hoya. Now, why did I decide to cover this documentary? Is because, first of all, Oscar de la Hoya is so fine. When he was younger, he was so fine, but he's good looking now. But younger, fine. But I also watched the preview. It did look good, and I love documentaries. So let's get into this episode, or these two episodes of this documentary. So my thoughts on having this documentary on HBO. So if you guys have HBO Max or you watch regular HBO, they did have a lot of music documentaries, and I do enjoy the music documentaries. I've never really gave sports documentaries a focus like I would for music. So I've never really, most of the sports documentaries I've watched was on Showtime. So I wanted to check out and see how HBO would do justice for Oscar de la Hoya for a sports documentary. So the time length, it's 2 episodes, and they're about an hour and 15 minutes a piece, maybe over an hour. I'm not sure about the 15, but they are over an hour. 2 parts, so you can binge watch it probably in 2 hours if your mind is not occupied. What I liked about this documentary was, one, Shayna Moakler was in the documentary. She explained her experiences with Oscar, and of course they have a daughter together. I don't want to mispronounce her name, but is it Atiana? They have Atiana together. And when I was watching this documentary, I liked how they looked as a couple. Of course, they're not a couple anymore. Shayna's with someone probably, and Oscar de la Hoya has a girlfriend. Her name is Holly. She's very beautiful, but they're together, so they're not, and they don't have a relationship, so I read on Daily Mail. But she was in the documentary, and she told her story, and I guess that shows that there's not like intense bad blood for her to go on his documentary and tell her story. But it was messed up how they broke up. But I'll get into that in a minute. It also covers all aspects of his career. So not only was Oscar de la Hoya a boxer, he was a singer, and he was into modeling. And then what was covered after his career was that he was a businessman with his own boxing promoting company, the Golden Boy. What I also liked was that the older children, got a chance to tell their stories, and they were included in the documentary. Atiana was in there, and then he has 2 older sons named Jacob and Devin, so they told their stories about their relationship with Oscar. And let's see what else. And they told their stories of how they were raised, of course. So what I didn't like about this documentary was that, how Oscar ran out on his kids. He admitted to it. It's not my words. He did admit to it. So I'm not going to be here to start drama. But at least he admitted to it, because there's a lot of fathers and mothers out here. So let me not be like that. That does not admit that they ran out on their children. So I didn't like that they had that story to tell. He has an addiction that did kind of take over, and he's so talented. Dude went to the Olympics in the 90s as a teenager, and when you have an addiction, it's just it takes over everything. It even gives you a bad conscience, honestly. So I hated that for him. And lastly, he kind of changed his whole life for his wife. Her name is Millie, very beautiful woman, but he upped and moved out of California, moved to Puerto Rico, I guess, with her, and he was talking about how life was out there on the island, and things like that. But yeah, that is the review for my Oscar de la Hoya documentary. Sorry, I can't talk today. I had too much sugar. By the way, a shout out to Quick Trip. They just put a Quick Trip in my neighborhood, so I'm just kind of high off everything. I've been eating a lot of sugar today too, outside of Quick Trip. But is this bingeable? Yes, it is 2 parts. It's on HBO Max, so I give it a 5 stars. So I hope there's a 3 and 4 that comes out that talks more into what he does for Golden Boy. I mean, they've seen it, they talked about it on the documentary, but I want to deep dive into it. But thank y'all so much for your time. I hope you like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later. New episode of Thompson and Stuff coming soon, very, very soon, and I'll talk to y'all.